The Giants still don't need to take a quarterback. Here's why. If you remember, I did a video a couple months ago about why the Giants don't need to draft a quarterback, why Eli Manning is still a viable option for another year. And that's even more true today than it was a couple of months ago. The Giants have basically entered tank mode. They've traded their best player in Odell Beckham Jr., and Eli Manning is under contract still for another season. The Giants shouldn't be in any hurry to get rid of him because they don't have to be. This is still a very, very poor Giants roster, even with the addition of Golden Tate, even with the signing of Marcus Golden and 34-year-old Antoine Bethea. This is not a Giants team that has improved in the offseason. They've gotten almost substantially worse. They've traded away Olivier Vernon. They've let Landon Collins go. Those were their two best defensive players. That is not debatable. That is a fact. Those were the two best defensive players. Now, I can get behind not bringing back Landon Collins and Olivier Vernon if you are under the mindset of let's trade them away for value, which I believe that they did in terms of Olivier Vernon because you brought in Kevin Zeitler, who is an offensive guard, one of the better ones in the NFL, and he's under contract for the next few seasons. That's all well and good. Give Olivier Vernon a new scenery and bring in some talented offensive line pieces, and that's what Kevin Zeitler offers at right guard. However, when you don't trade Landon Collins at the trade deadline, and then you don't franchise tag him and then try to trade him, granted, it would be for lesser value. I understand that. Based on having one season left, playing under the franchise tag, a tag and trade still would have been a viable option. Instead, I guess you get a compensatory third-round pick, but if you could have gotten a second from any team, that would be way better than just letting him walk for nothing, which is essentially what the Giants have done. They will get a compensatory pick in 2020. I would almost be sure of it. But at the same token, at the moment, you're getting no value out of letting Landon Collins go. Just doesn't make sense. You trade Odell Beckham Jr. away for Jabril Peppers. Now, Jabril Peppers is a decent player. He's young. He's going to be under contract for the next 2 seasons, I believe, which is cool. I guess if he can develop into being a really solid defensive back, sure, that's fine. Maybe play him at nickel corner, see if he can develop into that role. Maybe play him as a strong safety. Maybe see if he can take over that Landon Collins role. That's fine. Jabril Peppers, good player, a lot of potential. It just sucks to give away Odell Beckham Jr. It really does. And you did manage to get number 17 overall from the Browns. That's a pretty solid pick. And a third-round pick. They're lower of 2 thirds. And what I mean by that is lower, I mean it's later on in the draft. So that's fine. But going under what we know now of this Giants team, they're going to be the same, if not worse, than their previous season. So that means this team is going to be picking up near the top end of the draft again. What does that mean for the Giants? Well, of course, when you talk about drafting a quarterback, it's because, you never know when this team's going to be picking this high again. Well, let me assure you, based on the roster that this Giants team has, and granted, games are not won on paper, I completely, fully understand that. That's why you go out and you play the games. You never know what can happen. But based on the current roster of the Giants, this is not a team that's going to even win 6 games, probably. They're in that 5-win range, 4-win range, 3-win range. It's not a very good situation for Giants fans if you're looking forward to wins. So this team is pretty much entering full rebuild, full tank mode, which means you will be picking up very highly. You will be picking very highly in the 2020 draft. Now, that's a better quarterback class than 2019, just objectively speaking. I don't care how well you value Kyler Murray or Dwayne Haskins or whomever it might be in this class. Objectively speaking, next year's class, at least from right now, is better. You have KJ Costello out of Stanford that I think is going to be pretty good. We'll have to see how 2019, 2020 goes, of course, but I think he's going to be pretty good. Of course, obviously, Justin Herbert out of Oregon, Jake Fromm out of Georgia, Jacob Eason out of Washington. Who could forget about Tua Tagovailoa out of Alabama? There are a number of really, really talented quarterbacks coming into this next year's draft. You will be picking highly in the draft again. You can basically have your pick of any quarterback you'd like. So when this team right now, this New York Giants team, is one of the worst rosters in football, I can assure you that they're going to be picking up near the top end of the draft again. You have so many holes. You could use an upgrade at both edge spots. Marcus Golden on a short deal doesn't solve much, if anything, right? So you could use both edge spots at 3-4 outside linebacker. And, okay, I get it. Lorenzo Carter, third-round pick last year out of Georgia. He played decently down the stretch. So maybe you don't go out of your way to take 2 edge rushers high this year, but you certainly need one. Olivier Vernon is in need of replacement now that he's gone. They need a better replacement for Olivier Vernon than Marcus Golden. You need help at every linebacker spot. Alec Ogletree, BJ Goodson, Tay Davis are not getting it done at middle linebacker at any of those linebacker spots. And then 3-4, those inside linebackers are very, very important. All of those linebackers are below average in the NFL. Sucks to say, but all of them are. They're bad players. And people aren't going to want to hear that about Alec Ogletree. They see 5 interceptions. Oh, that's a good linebacker. Well, when he's allowing catches underneath and he can't tackle, he has no impact in run defense, he is a bad linebacker. BJ Goodson, Tay Davis are in the same range of not very good players. You look to the secondary. You bring in 34-year-old Antoine Bethea to be your starting free safety. He's 34. He needs an upgrade. It's only a short deal as well. But you need an upgrade, and you need younger players. At strong safety, you're fine for right now. You have Jabril Peppers. That's cool. I like the addition of Jabril Peppers. Again, it just sucks that Odell had to go. But Jabril Peppers is fine to play strong safety. You don't need to go out of your way to draft a strong safety. At cornerback, Janoris Jenkins is average. That's what he brings to the table. Sam Beal is an unknown quantity at this moment. A third-round supplemental draft pick out of Western Michigan. You don't know what he brings to the table just yet because he's never played a snap in the NFL. He could be good, but you don't know. Cornerback could still be a position the Giants look to target. I'm shocked Janoris Jenkins hasn't been cut, if I'm being honest. Hope he can have a bounce-back season, but as he gets closer to 30 years old, I don't know how reasonable that is to expect a better season and higher production from Janoris Jenkins than he showed in the past in his Pro Bowl season 2 or 3 years ago at this point. So, tough to say what Janoris Jenkins is going to bring to the table. Outside of that, you don't have anything at cornerback. B.W. Webb started many, many games last season for the Giants. Granted, he's not on the team anymore, but he started multiple games for the Giants. Whether Sam Beal's a starting cornerback right away, I'm not sure. That's a position you need to go out and you need to upgrade. Grant Haley's another guy that just can't step in and be a starting cornerback. So now that we've addressed free safety, both cornerback spots at multiple or as multiple needs for you, every linebacker spot, at least one of 2 edge spots, the interior of the defensive line is okay. Dalvin Tomlinson's a very good player. He's been lining up at nose tackle. BJ Hill looks like he can be a quality starter. You don't have much at that other 3-4 defensive end spot. That could also be a position that gets drafted very highly in the draft. That could be a defensive tackle caliber player, quality. Whether you look at Jeffrey Simmons, Ed Oliver, Quinnen Williams, Christian Wilkins, there are a number of really, really talented defensive linemen that come in and play that 3-4 defensive end role. I would love Jeffrey Simmons in the second round if he drops there. At 17 either, I could get behind it because this team's not going to be a team that competes this year. They just won't be. They can't hang with the other rosters in the NFC East at the moment. I'm a Giants fan. It sucks. I hate it. But this is not a team that's poised to take the 2019 season by storm. It just isn't. So even though Jeffrey Simmons tore his ACL in the draft build-up process, draft lead-up, I should say, I would be fine with spending a first-round pick on him because he is a top 10 caliber player in this draft. You can get away with drafting him highly, whether that's 17 overall if he's available, because he can be a star player for you in 2020, and that's totally fine. So, on defense, free safety, cornerback, maybe cornerback again, linebacker, edge, 3-4 defensive end. On the offense side of the ball, we can agree right now that Nate Solder is the fit at left tackle. Will Hernandez, of course, at left guard. And I don't know about Spencer Pulley or John Halapio at center. I know it looks like John Halapio is going to be the starting center next year, and then Spencer Pulley got signed to a 3-year deal or 4-year deal or whatever it was, which is concerning to me. But center is a position that needs to be upgraded. It just won't be this year. And at right guard, Kevin Zeitler is more than fine at right guard. That is an exceptional starting right guard. You need to address right tackle. That is a very, very big position of need. Chad Wheeler cannot start at right tackle in 2019. Absolutely cannot happen. At tight end, I'm mixed here, man, because I think Evan Ingram's a good player. I just wonder if he would not be better versed as a wide receiver. He's not a very talented route runner, and he can't really block all that well. He improved this past season in blocking. I would say he's fine for tight end right now. And then at wide receiver, you still have issues. You still have needs. I don't care that they signed Golden Tate to a 4-year deal. He is going to be 31 this next season, 32, 33, 34. Those are the next seasons he's playing with the Giants under that 4-year deal. That's a position that needs to be upgraded. Even with Sterling Shepard, he's going to be going into a contract year. He's a slot receiver. What else do you have at wide receiver? Absolutely nothing. Benny Fowler started games. It's absolutely terrible what this team is right now. It's absolutely terrible. Running back, you're perfect. And then at quarterback, obviously, that's a position that needs to be upgraded. But considering every other position of need for the Giants this year, there's so many of them, it's almost every position the Giants need a new starter at. Almost every position. So, do I think that the Giants need to go out of their way to take a quarterback when you're going to be picking highly next year? No. I think load up with talent to build around your entire team, and then plug in a quarterback. Eli is in a contract year. He is not going to be re-signed. I think everyone is fully aware of that. Build pieces, put them around your new quarterback, and then throw your new quarterback in behind a great offensive line with talented weapons to throw to and a defense behind him. That is possible. That is so possible. The Giants are going to have a lot of money next year to spend in free agency if they choose to do so, to bring in talented pieces. So this team can have weapons for a new quarterback, whether that's Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, Evan Engram, another receiver in this year's draft that remains to be seen. That could totally happen. Saquon Barkley, a talented offensive line. You're a right tackle away right now from a very solid offensive line. You have a really great guard combo at left guard in Will Hernandez and right guard in Kevin Zeitler. Nate Solder played better down the second half of the season. He's fine at left tackle. You are a right tackle away from having a better offense. You could make the argument, quarterback, to learn behind Eli. I think that narrative is overrated. You do not need to bring in a quarterback and have him learn behind a quarterback for a season. You just don't need to. Get a good offensive coach, good offensive-minded coach, I should say, whether that's Pat Shurmur or a new offensive coordinator or a good quarterbacks coach. That's fine. You're all well and good. I like it. You don't have to draft a quarterback this year. You need to put pieces together for a successful team. You can take a quarterback next year. You're going to be picking highly. Dwayne Haskins is not a quarterback worth trading up for. If he is available at 6, I could get behind it. I really can. But I don't think you need to, under any circumstance, go quarterback this year. You can. It wouldn't be a dumb decision, but you don't need to. You're not a quarterback away. You're a bunch of pieces away. You don't need to put yourself into a position where you have to trade up for a quarterback. It still could happen. I fully understand that. It could happen. You do not need to. And I'm really stressing. You do not need to. You can. Kyler Murray isn't a quarterback worth trading up for. Kyler Murray, in my opinion, is not a quarterback worth drafting at 6 or 17. He could be a great player. He really could be. He has way too many question marks for me. Size does play a factor. It really does. I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say on the matter. You don't have to force yourself into taking a quarterback this year. You're going to be picking highly next year. You can take one next year. It's a better class. You can get someone that really fits what you want to do offensively. You don't have to force yourself into taking a quarterback in a mediocre quarterback draft class. Of course, let me know what you guys think about that. Always very excited to hear down in the comments section below. Another ranty style video, but I just feel like I had a lot to say, and hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.